I'm going to let you talk because my voice is all messed up.
Yeah, you're sounding quite sultry. Hey, welcome back to Twin Tarot Live. Woo!
Merry keep Christmas, your hands everyone. To yourself, Sailor.
Yeah, Dave and I were just chatting about our Christmases. We had my brother and sister-in-law over, and we made paella. And I threw a quick video up this morning. I was going to do it last night, but the dishwasher is making so much noise. It is so loud, Dave. When I was, I swear to God, I could throw some boulders in there, and the next morning it would be a handful of sand. It's just like, what is going on in there?
Well, Genovese, you can go and buy a new dishwasher that's like super quiet. You don't have to yell over it.
My wife married an amazing dishwasher who's also very quiet as long as you don't pester him when he's washing the dishes.
I'm just saying.
Hey, and I got my kids got me my Funko Pop Gary. It's kind of, I'm getting a lot of glare on it, but it's really cool. It's basically me. If you see the video today, I show it off a little bit more.
Yeah, Sunflower Down Under was asking what it was named.
They called it the Garv because that's my nickname from junior high school.
Without the in front of it. Basically, He had a T-shirt. It was with his name on the back, but the stem on the Y was cut really, really short to the point where it looked like a letter V.
Yep.
So it stuck from that point on.
There are a handful of people that I grew up with that call me Garv, and my kids apparently have jumped on that bandwagon there.
Exactly. All right.
So we had our Christmas paella. It turned out magnificent. And we just had a really nice Christmas at the house.
Good.
Yeah. So there.
Yeah, just hung out with myself. Yeah, as somebody just pointed out, Lanny K, happy Boxing Day.
Yes. After the live stream, I'm going to get some bread dough going, and then I'm going to go out and do a little bit of shopping. My family just walked in the door. They were at the mall getting their day after Christmas shopping knocked down, so I'll get to do it after we do this. Oh, we got a Kansas City person. From the home of the best NFL team, Chiefs Nation. Happy New Year.
Yeah. And today for me was, I didn't do much yesterday. I just hung out at the house all day long. And today made a quick run to the grocery store to pick up some vegetable stock. I'm brining a turkey, having friends over on Friday.
Excellent. Cheers.
And made my brine and letting it cool down now so that I can brine the turkey overnight tonight. Cook it up tomorrow.
Does the brining basically draw the moisture out and replace it with whatever spices are in the brine? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's for those. Yeah.
Thank you, Christy.
For the Alton Brown fans out there, if you've ever seen his Thanksgiving Day special from the early 1990s or the mid to late 1990s, I forget when it was. Brining is just basically coming up with a salt water solution. In this case, use vegetable stock to add flavor to it. And when the turkey is or any meat is in the brining, osmosis happens, and the water in the meat is drawn out to the salt water because it's trying to balance out the salt water concentration. It's just the way that like water seeking its level. It's the same thing with the salt concentrations. But as the moisture comes out of the meat, it's being replaced by moisture in the brine, and it keeps going back and forth until eventually the meat has the same salt content as the brine on the outside. And then when you cook it, it's locked into the flesh of the meat so the bird doesn't dry out, and it's got flavor all the way through the meat. It's really a great way of cooking a turkey, amongst other things. It's funny because I'm a scientist by background. So when I'm watching the Mystery Food Science Theater 3000 sketch, and I'm also a Mystery Science Theater 3000 sketch fan. it's like Alton Brown is great. My first wife, her cousin is the head chef at Google, and they've had Alton Brown out to the Google campus, and he met Alton, and they hung out. I was asking him about that. He goes, "Everything you see on TV is his personality. That is who he is." And to me, that would be absolutely amazing because he's just very smart, very funny, dry, sarcastic. Family friend John, Martha's son John.
Yeah.
I think they would get on very well. They look alike too.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looks like him.
Yeah.
Was that Alton Brown? Was that that where he had like the Elvis character and the?
Yes, his family that came to visit. He had Uncle Morty, Aunt Verna, and what's their son's name? Crap. I can't remember the son's name, but yes, he was an Elvis impersonator. And the same actor who plays his aunt also plays his cousin.
Okay.
And then
it was
very
amusing.
What's that?
Yeah, very amusing.
Yes. All right. So we've got some questions that I've starred.
Oh, okay.
First one: will Dump and his first boyfriend break up soon? Also, hearing from other I should show it.
You mean President Musk and Vice President Dump?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we did a video on him recently on that bromance, didn't we?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean things don't change. Like any bromance. And you can see where George Conway from Lincoln Project, and who else is trolling him? Oh, come on, David, pull it out. My brain's not working. Other folks, they're just trolling him. Absolutely trolling Trump with Elon to the point where Trump even mentioned it. During one of his rallies. He's still having rallies, man. Got to just fleece the people for as much money as they can. And, he's like, he's talking about in his rallies, oh, no, he's not going to be the president, which, if he had a sense of humor, that would be one thing, but he doesn't.
He thinks people are serious. Someone had put something in the comments that cracked me up. I don't know if it was a political cartoon, but it was Elon Musk. Elon Musk. I don't know if he was in the car, like behind the driver's seat, behind the wheel, and then Trump was like in a child seat in the back with a little steering wheel. And the comment was, "It's so cute when he thinks he's driving."
Right. It was Adam Kinzinger. That was the other person who was trolling.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and I've got. If you go to Twin Tarot and go to the community page, I actually have if you go scan down a post or two, I've got a link to Adam Kinzinger on CNN on a panel referring to President Musk and Vice President Trump, and everybody on the panel is deadpanning. They're probably dying inside, but they're just deadpanning, letting them go. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to look at the general energy around the relationship between Musk and Trump and see what's going on. Remember, this is all for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. I'm already entertained with the first card.
All right. I'm not making myself big again. People can see your reaction. We got the Fool card. It's a new journey. New journey for one, maybe stepping off the cliff for the other, crossed with disappointment and reevaluation. This would not be if your daughter was dating a new guy. This is not the spread you want.
No, not at all.
No, this is the morning after, and you're like, oh my God, what have I done? Good Lord, what have I done? I need to rethink my things here now. It goes both ways. Musk is ready to start taking over the world, and he's kind of disappointed he can't get more done because Trump's in the way. And what do they spend all this money on? And Trump is ready to start his vacation, but he doesn't like everything that Musk is doing because Trump wants to bring a new form of presidency of the United States. In the past, you got the double card. When you have two egotistical, cult-leading sociopaths in the same room, hilarity ensues.
Yeah, it should be a situation comedy, right?
Exactly. Current situation is judgment. They don't trust the other person because they fundamentally don't approach things in the same way. Overarching energy is the King of Cups. And I'm going to leave Biden out of it. They're just a pair of man babies. I don't know any other way to put it. Thank you, Heidi. Musk is they're both used to outspending people to get things that they want. And Musk is running around like he's just spent $250 million to buy the presidency for the next 4 years, which is why he's just running around sticking his fingers in everything. It's like a hostile takeover of the country for a bargain basement price of $250 million.
Yep.
Hell, Gary, the first company I worked for, when it got sold, it sold for $2 billion with a B.
Oh my gosh.
1/8 of what Musk paid for control of the entire country. And Trump is just, he doesn't want to be the president. He just doesn't want to go to prison. And he'll grift while he's there, but he really wants to exact revenge for all the people who did him wrong in his mind. But yeah, they're just a couple of man babies. Lesson to be learned is the Page of Cups. Man babies who are and they're cult leaders. You got Trump followers, you got Elon Musk followers, and those two, they mix, but they'll never join into one group because there can only be one king in this one. And the question is, who's going to be the king? Is it the guy that paid the $250 million for the government, or is it the figurehead with the title? Trump won't. It's funny, Trump talks about all these things he's going to do as president, but he doesn't actually do anything. He relies on the incompetence of the people around him to get it done. So it sounds great when you say, I'm going to annex Canada and kill all the drug lords in Mexico and buy Greenland and take the Panama Canal back. But who's going to actually do it? It's not like people are motivated here, which leads into the question that was going to be one of the start questions that's coming up of, will Congress push back?
Yeah, that was over the past week where he's been just saying nonsense about taking back the Panama Canal and buying Greenland. It's just like these are sovereign nations. You just don't take stuff away from a sovereign nation and not have a consequence. It's like. Besides, you're going to need Congress to support this, and there's just absolutely no way that's happening. I mean, and it seems like, I didn't read it, but I saw a headline that said there's a lot of Trump supporters that think that these are great ideas. And it's just like...
Well, of course they do. They're kissing the porthole.
Okay, so I'm gonna just do a quick four-carder on Trump's bromance with Musk. Is it gonna last through the summer? Or just short term. Okay, here we go. Oh, well, the foundation of the reading. You got the lovers.
That's not the lovers card.
Oh, sorry, Two of Cups. Sorry, my bad. It's the minor arcana. So the Two of Cups. Yeah. Hey, we got these agreements and we see eye to eye, and we're really happy with this new relationship. Everyone's getting what they want out of this. Especially Musk. I mean, to me, that's becoming more and more the Musk.
That's looking like a Musk card, doesn't it? Yeah. That's how I'm kind of giving it to him.
Yep. Hey, Musk gave you lots of value, lots of things of value. I brought you lots of money. Now it's time for you to pay back. I'm the star. This is almost like the point of view of Musk, really. The star. I'm the star in this relationship, and the Five of Swords. I was the one that kept you in the fight. So it's not so much. This reading is not so much will the relationship last through the first 6 months. This is how Musk sees himself in the relationship.
I think he's the one who gets custody of the country. That's how I look at it. I had paid all this money. It's like the people will follow me, not you. That's kind of how he's looking at it.
Yeah, it's. I think you really hit the nail on the head there. That's exactly how he's thinking, and especially. And I was telling you earlier, we'll probably do a Musk reading later on, later this week. But Musk is running around all over the place now. He's gotten a taste of it in the United States, and now he's sticking his nose in Canada, Great Britain, Germany, Brazil, where he's trying to really push a far-right agenda, because these are the political leaders that either align more closely to his thought or are willing to bend to his whims and his thoughts. And he's trying to make himself a bigger player in the world political scene, much to the detriment of the world.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch Rosie Psychic Investigator or Rosie Intuitive. I forget. She's changed the name of her channel a few times. She was one of the first intuitives I used to watch on YouTube, along with Lena from Tarot Down Under.
Yeah.
And, she used to have the Six of Wands represent basically a cabal of leaders, with like Trump, Putin, Erdogan, Netanyahu, and a couple others. And it's just like you've got this group of like-minded people, world leaders, that basically want to carve up the world the way that they want to carve it up.
Yep.
And that's what you've got going on here too. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. As far as that, let me go ahead and hide this one. Undo it. Okay. How about the next one?
Oh, can we give a thank you to Heidi Walter? Thank you for your contribution, Heidi. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Cheers.
Oh no, he's going to be blotto by the time we're done here.
Laura's going to have to drive me to the mall after the show.
And thank you, Jamie. Got another one, Gary.
Oh, hey. I was like, I got to scroll back. Oh, thank you, Jamie. And I totally recognize your thumbnail, too, because I see you in the comments as well. Jamie, cheers. Happy Christmas.
Jamie, what kind of dog is that? I can't tell if it's
Looks like a Weimaraner.
It's got some white on the nose. Weimaraners typically aren't like tan and white. It's got a longer nose like a collie, but it also looks sort of lavish. Maybe it's a mutt, or I just don't know my dog very well right now. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
On January, what will happen on January 20th? Do you see an actual inauguration happening? Protests, large crowds, or small crowds of people there? What do the cards see for that day? Yeah, that's part. Let's see what we got here. I just saw that part lab and part white Swiss Shepherd.
Oh, okay. So I was completely off.
Holy crap! Mary's gonna bring down the house.
Oh my God, Mary! I'm gonna stand up for that.
Keep your clothes on.
Do the thunder from down under moves. Come on, Dave, you got to do it too. That's worth both of us. Cheers, Mary. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Mary. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's what happened on
January. And just let's look at the energy. The thing is, setting it up for the folks here, for the 700 folks watching this right now. Back last Friday, the 18th, is it? Let's see, 10th, 17th. There had to be a report that was presented to the government about any potential election interference.
20th.
And the day before that report came out, Kamala Harris was supposed to fly out to California and canceled that flight and went to D.C. instead. Biden was out of the state and came back to D.C. instead. Biden was supposed to be out for a week, as was Harris. And neither one of them have gone back since. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Appreciate the generosity. And they're still in D.C. It wasn't.
They never left, huh?
Yeah, they never left.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And there is some speculation. Maybe that report dropped and there was stuff in there that requires the two of them and others to discuss the implication. I forget, one of the readers also was suggesting that it's possible that with like the intelligence briefings that you know, and other intuitors have talked about this for a while, that the intelligence briefings may have had discrepancies in Trump's and the folks on Trump's team as a plant to see if they're going to leak it out, almost like a radioactive dye for cancer. It's like, let's put this out there, and if they're not leaking it, it won't go out. But if it's leaked, and it's speculation that maybe what they thought was out there got leaked, and so now they can start tying this back into to a leak of intelligence. Thank you very much, Cindy B.
Oh,
Merry Christmas. This one? So,
thank you.
So, for as far as January 20th goes, we're at the mercy of Joe Biden's free will at this point. We just are. If there's something there, and I really do think there is something there, because there's no way Kamala Harris lost that election. There just really is no way that she lost that election, much less the popular vote. And so now it's a question of, will Biden, does he have the goods? Can he deliver on it, or is he not going to? Okay, so come on down. Sorry for the long background, but it's to kind of get everybody up on the page for however I read this, which is the January 20th inauguration. All right, foundation of the reading is the Nine of Cups. Hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled, the smug merchant. It sure looks like Elon's ready for it to happen. Now sitting there waiting for it. Crossed with the King of Pentacles. There is this vibe of, buying the election, the American oligarchy buying the election and expecting it to happen, because why wouldn't it? When was the last time we didn't have an inauguration going on?
Yeah.
But underneath it all is the Queen of Pentacles. It's the practicality, finding a use for everything. How do I want to say this? If there's a financial crime, and I think somebody else might have put up something about financial crimes, there could be some underlying financial crimes for Elon and others about election interference in a influence type cooperation scheme through Russia and other countries. In the past, Queen of Wands, we were expecting Kamala to get in there, and that's what should have happened. Current situation is Three of Wands. We're not there yet. Decisions coming forward about the inauguration. It's like, the plan's not fully together, but it's coming together. Overarching energy is the Six of Cups. Whether that's the naivety of our thinking our elections are secure, or the normal peaceful transfer of power, which did not happen in 2020. And I think that's the consideration here is that we didn't have a peaceful transfer of power in 2020. How do you make sure you have a peaceful transfer of power in 2024, even if it's delayed, something that might get delayed? Strength card. Lesson to be learned. You gotta be strong. Sometimes you just gotta make tough decisions. And the Hanged Man. Self-sacrifice or looking at things differently. This, it's funny. This to like Elon Musk is waiting for it. I bought it. It's mine. I'm waiting for it. I can't wait to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all sorts of things. I'm going to turn this country up on its ear. If this is like Biden, it's like we got what we need, and we know who did it. We've got the evidence. We know Kamala won, bring this plan together, but we need to do it in such a way that we don't cause an outrage in this country. You got to be strong and basically, turn this country on its ear. It's not decided yet. I want to lean to say yes, there's going to be a delay on it, but I'm not seeing anything other than this that would indicate any kind of delay. If there is a delay on it, the Biden administration's really got to play. They've really got to show some strength here, because it's not going to go over well with it, especially with a group of angry MAGA folks.
I'll do a little four-carder on the hangman. What does the hangman mean in your reading? What does that hangman mean? Okay, foundation is the moon. There's confusion. That there's secrets out there, and there's a path to the truth. But right now there's confusion that's reigning. Main clarifier's judgment. Blowing the horn of truth and getting people to stand up and acknowledge what is truthful here. There it is. Hangman, look, we're in a different situation than we've ever found ourselves in the past. There's your Queen of Pentacles. To me, this is, nurturing and valuing and protecting our democracy. And that's what I got when it was your underneath card there. And underneath it, the Ace of Cups, this big upwelling of emotion. As the rational part of my brain is kind of like, I'm not seeing any way off of this path. Every single time we throw cards on it, it looks like there is a big off-ramp that's coming up that we just haven't seen yet. That something significant is going to happen that we're just not expecting to see. And that's I guess maybe that's just the hope in me, or as some of the trolls like to say, the bias in me. But the rational part of me is like, I just don't see how that's going to happen. Yet every single time we throw cards, it says that something's going to happen. So it looks like the hangman is that, there's something big out there.
Somebody just put it up there. You see me typing away on my phone. Hang on, let me. Thank you, Brian Evanoff. Brian was asking, well, doesn't the hangman mean delay or pause? Yes, it does.
Hey, so we had some contributions. Can we go back to those? I don't know if you still have visibility to those, Dave.
I do. So yes, I'm going to rearrange things. We both got the hangman, which both means there's a delay or a pause that's on there. And the hangman was my outcome, wasn't it, Gary?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you. And I get so locked into the meanings that I do with the cards, I don't always go back and review things. We had Aki.
Aki, thank you. Carmen, thank you so much. Oh, super sticker. Was Aki's a super sticker too? Cindy B, thank you so much.
We might be rethinking people, but that's fine.
Daniel Martin, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Woo! Oh,
you keep going.
Kelly Keith, yep. Jamie, yep.
Heidi on there.
Heidi,
Christy,
Christy,
that's all the ones I'm seeing in here.
I think Christy started us off with that. Susan, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yay. Thank you, Susan.
If it's delayed, will 45 declare himself president? He already declared himself president before the election was over.
Yeah, he told Biden to step aside.
Yeah, he told Biden to step aside. Because, in some ways, that is not the statement of a confident person. It's kind of like when somebody's trying to rush you in a deal or out the door. It's because they don't want you to see something or be around for something.
You know what it's like, David? It's like in an NFL football game where the refs missed.
Messed up, and you try to snap the next play so you can't challenge it.
Yeah, get that next play run before they get that challenge flag out there and say, hey, wait a second here. That's exactly what that is.
And that's what it feels like. So, Leanna, will January 20th, you see something actually happening? Protests, large crowds or small crowds? Let's take a look real quick on that one. I do think there's going to be a delay. Throwing the hangman out there. Sure, why not? Let's see what's the Fort Carter. How the crowd's going to react, or how is the public going to react? It's going to be 5 of swords. Winner takes all. There's going to be anger about that. Both sides feel like their candidate won. There's going to be some peace offerings done.
Those are very subdued cards.
Yeah. Well, this isn't so much. This is going to be a lot of anger. I think. How the crowds react. I think this is part of what Biden's trying to do. Is he's trying to reach out to folks on both sides of the aisle to calm people down, and remember our shared values as folks in the United States. This is where, if you were going to have, unfortunately, there's not many living Republican presidents anymore. You've got W, and did HW pass, hasn't he? Yeah, I think he has. You got W, and that's about it. W and Trump. Reagan's gone. Herbert Walker is gone. Nixon's gone. Ford is gone. I do not know who's on the Republican side that can reach out to Republicans. And that's the problem when you're living in a world where cults have taken over a political party. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. Oh, yeah, I got it. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Got all these starred things here. That's good.
Ooh, here we go. Yes. The second half of the show will be brought to you by Einstock Winter Ale.
Lord, he's going to be blotto.
Alcohol. Oh my God, it's 8%.
You are going to be blotto by the time this is done.
Those super sticker dances are going to get better and better by the time we're done with this bad boy.
Dear.
Look at that.
Our dad. Oh, good God. I mean, it's a dark. Is that a dark lager or a dark ale? What's the?
It is Icelandic ale, I believe. Winter ale.
Okay. Oh, they went with the dark malt on that one. Oh, just for folks wondering, or who aren't wondering, I used to be a home brewer. Between my roommate and myself, we made about 50 homebrew beers during our time. So I do have an appreciation for beer, like Brett Kavanaugh, but I don't get sloppy drunk. Nor do I have a strange obsession with calendars.
Yeah, the goal isn't to get blotto.
I mean, pretty much by my mid-20s, that was no longer a thing.
Yeah,
just done. I have no desire to get blotto. It's just not.
There's not a lot of fun in
my
that.
kids do, and I get it. I was there, binge drinking in college. Who knew? Okay, GOP revolt will be and we're seeing it. We're seeing the GOP revolt with the budget. The whole thing about Trump and Musk torpedoing the budget, and Trump said he wanted an unlimited debt ceiling for taken. He wanted that removed for the next 2 years, and so we've got more super thanks for Sandy Johnson. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And while you got it up, Maria's throwing you another $50 to drink it, chug, chug, chug. Hi, Marina. Glad you can make it in.
Thank you, Maria.
Hey, Lisa, thank you.
Merry
Anyway,
Christmas.
Good Lord, now where was I going with it after the Brett Kavanaugh?
I want to read you a quote though, because you were talking about Trump and Musk trying to derail the resolution in the budget. This is from a Massachusetts Democratic Congressman, Richie Neal. And he's the ranking member on the House Ways and Means Committee. And here's the quote. Can you imagine what the next 2 years will be like if every time Congress works its will and then there's a tweet from an individual who has no official portfolio who threatens Republicans with a primary so they have to succumb to his will? So it's basically he's calling out Musk and these other Republicans who are basically sticking their nose in Congress's business. And Musk wasn't happy with this guy, obviously. This is kind of where the power play is going to be. Is the GOP congressmen want to get back to business, but they have to be mindful that the big mega donors for the Republicans will try and primary them if they don't bend to their will. Libby.
Libby's in the chat. Everybody say hello to Libby. Where I was going with it, one of the things I also heard was that, both Trump and Musk torpedoed it. Trump wanted the debt ceiling raised, and that didn't happen.
Yep.
Musk apparently wanted a bunch of stuff that involved trade with China removed or amended. And apparently that did happen. Now, when I threw on this topic last time, I had about Mike Johnson about this. I had Elon Musk on the bottom of the deck. Elon paid his $250 million, and Elon got his trade things adjusted to the way Elon wanted them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it looks like some folks in the GOP are willing to stand up to Trump by the looks of it, but they may not be willing to stand up to Elon because Elon's providing the do-re-mi, and Trump just supplies drama.
Well,
let's take a look real quick. Will the GOP revolt against Trump? 7 of Wands, because they have the ability to fight him now because he's a lame duck president. In their mind, he doesn't have the power that he had before because he can't run for re-election. Now, he might declare himself president for life or something, but if he does that, then they won't have a job anyways.
Yep.
Talks with the strength card. The reason why they're in corruption underneath there, the reason why they're fighting Trump is that they've carved out, they know how the game is played. They've carved out their districts and everything like that. And if you just capitulate to Trump with everything like that, all of a sudden you're going to be fighting for scraps as opposed to being, trying to think of a mafia reference. It's like capos in their own little districts here. And now you've got this new guy coming in trying to change things around, and they don't want to change. They're resistant to it. Past Page of Swords. New to the game when Trump was first in there, and it might be that Trump had his blackmail on the previous one because Russia hacked into the servers. There's a bunch of new people in there that aren't. This is Russia hacking in for the 2016 servers, and Trump could hold that over the previous Congress. But it's been 8 years. A lot of people have left, and there's been a lot of turnover. So the data that he had 8 years ago may not be really valid anymore. And they probably have stuff on him now. And it's kind of like they want their status quo. They don't want to change. Because they're stealing, they're stealing with both hands. Trump is a great distraction. They don't want him to go. They just don't want to, they don't want their wealth diminished. If they follow Trump, their wealth and their power and their influence will be diminished. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to. But Trump, that doesn't mean Trump's not going to try. He absolutely is going to try and get these guys to do what they want. But it looks like a few, anyways, will stand up to him. Last thought on this one was the Chip Roy. He at least drew his line in the sand about, not wanting to be deficit spending. Yeah, look at that card.
Yeah.
it's amazing when you can actually get a Republican to draw a line in the sand, because you can watch the goalpost go right on by if you actually make a stand. But, other than the fact that I can respect him, he drew a line in the sand, that's where it ends for Chip Roy, because he's a miserable, wretched human being who would just assume the government spends money on nothing, and that's not exactly helping people.
Yeah, so I wanted to take just to the question from Zania was, will there be enough GOP congressmen to basically lame duck Trump? You don't have to have them all. I mean, it's so close in the Congress right now that you only need a few to start caucusing with the Democrats to neuter MAGA.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is that literally they've got a 220 to 215 majority. Gates is out, and two other people are being nominated. So you could be down to 217 to 215. That's not a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah, so the foundation is, we got the Two of Pentacles. It's the Republicans really need to do a balancing act, especially the GOP congressmen. At one hand, they don't want to be primaried if they piss off Trump and Musk, but at the other hand, they understand the job is to legislate and do things that benefit their constituents. They've got the main clarifier is the Nine of Wands. They got one more battle, which is that 2026 general election. Once the 2026 general election happens, Trump has no more power over them. Trump's done. He has no more sway over their future. The two clarifiers, you got Justice and the Smug Merchant. So it's God. So they know what their job is. They know what they need to do. They have to keep in mind that Musk is out there throwing lots of money and can primary them. Underneath it all is the Empress, doing what's best for the United States, doing what's best for their constituents, taking advantage of the abundance of the United States. On the negative side, it's the entitled behavior and the kind of the laziness and entitled behavior. So I think what the challenge here with this is, there will be some that look at the money and will bend to Musk, but there's going to be others that look at what's best for this nation and saying, this is my job and I'm going to stick up for what my job is. So will there be enough Republicans? I think there's going to be enough Republicans to really lame duck a lot of Trump's worst policies. But in 2 years, they're not going to be. Trump's not even going to be a player in 2 years. He might not even be in office in 2 years, honestly.
Okay, thank you, Deanna. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Deanna. Appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers.
I'm going to throw one question here. Do a four-carder.
Oh, that's good.
Do you want to do? Is Trump going to be you do a thing 4 years from now or 2 years from now? Will Trump be the president? And I'm going to do one. Will Trump be alive? Or
okay.
Better yet, I'll do one. Will he be? Depending on your answer, you do yours first, and then I'm going to figure out if he's going to be alive or in the country.
Well, so will Trump be alive in 2 years? Do you want to do?
No, I think he'll be the president in 2 years.
Okay, will Trump be the president of the United States?
Any time now.
And in power, making decisions, as opposed. Well, I'm just thinking like.
Never mind, I'm doing this. Trump will be the president in 2 years. You take too long. Come on, man. Chop.
We'll do a challenge reading. Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone quickly too. They're going to end the nightmare. There's almost like there's another quid pro quo type of thing going on here. Favors that he's been giving. I would not be surprised if more intelligence failures are out there. And if he does get in as president, he's done something where even the Republicans in Congress are going to toss him out. We both got the Nine of Swords.
Yeah,
and the Knight of Swords.
And the
Good
Nine of
heavens.
Swords. Yeah, so what I've got is, is he still going to be president? Something's happening quickly. His mental acuity is gone. Basically, he's like he can't find the path forward anymore. It's confusion. His intellect and his sharpness is walking away from him. His brain is there, but the rest of him is heading off to the sunset, and just sorrow and sadness. Yeah, I don't see him in office in 2 years.
They busted him. They bust him for something, and they bust him quick. When it happens, whatever it is, when it happens so fast, it'll make your head spin.
Yeah. So is that a 25th Amendment or is that a health event? I guess it could be both, right?
Is he alive 2 years from now? Page 1. I love my Egyptian pharaohs there. Health on the decline. There we go. He's on his meds. Is he alive? Yeah, he probably is. If he's loopy as a loon. It's like when you retire to Florida or to Arizona or something like that. But he's kicked out. His health is on the decline. His mind is tapioca, and he's being tended to. It could be 25th Amendment. It's just you can't. It's one of those things you can't really incarcerate them. You can't trust them if you for house arrest. So it leaves a mental health hospital.
Yeah, so I think you're right, because what I was throwing on, is it a mental health event? But when I look at the cards, it's a mental health event that he starts with, and it's the 25th Amendment that kicks him out. It's like, so long and thanks for all the fish. Your mind is going away. It's time for you to go. You've done a lot of great things for this country, but your mind is tapioca. You're making these, we're looking at what you're saying, and it's crazy. And you can't deny it because you're the one that's saying it. And it's time to let the young guy step forward and swing his sword.
This is 45B charge of treason. It's almost like you got two things going on here. It's like they bust him with intelligence. You had a Page of Swords underneath there, which is the spy in the camp. All the swords with intelligence. The Seven of Swords, the stealing of intelligence, and it's like his brain's right around the time that they're busting him with that, his brain snaps. It's like they bust him with that. Either 25th Amendment him or impeach him, however they're going to go about that. And then literally it's like they commit him to a psych ward. And that's their way of not having to incarcerate and put up a former president on trial for these things. They're gonna put him in a home, where a home is going to be like his own personal wing in Leavenworth or in some type of mental health prison. This is not going to end well for Donald Trump. And I do think that it may not even matter if he gets in. That's what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get in, he probably will have all those things happen. It just might be delayed a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't. Let's see. We've done this one. What's this one? Mar-a-Lago. Parties or depression?
Well, I don't know. Is Melania in New York or is she in Mar-a-Lago?
She's only in Mar-a-Lago if Justin Trudeau's going to Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my gosh. Mar-a-Lago, parties or depression? Take a look.
Work harder.
That's all I'm throwing.
Mar-a-Lago.
I know what my answer is. I only have to throw one card.
The parties are going as long as Elon's there. But you've got to, right now they're still celebrating. They're celebrating because they can't comprehend the fact that things might be, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we may die. They don't know about the tomorrow we may die part. The Wheel of Fortune is underneath there right now. Yes, spending the money, celebrating the inauguration. We won. But underneath there's this, you didn't win, and it's kind of like any celebration where you cheated to win. So they're celebrating the victory, but it's kind of like the unspoken thing where you can't. They're not fully celebrating.
Yeah,
they don't think anything bad's going to happen, but they know that there's this small chance that something bad can happen, and they just need to get to January 20th and across the finish line.
Yeah, my cards are very supportive of that. It's the Foundation, the Nine of Swords. It's either that nightmare scenario for Melania. Certainly, it's the nightmare scenario, but it's also could be. I can't believe we actually pulled this off. Where did this came out of left field? We weren't really expecting that. Let's blow our horns and celebrate. Although the people that we're celebrating with are kind of like zombies. But hey, let's pretend we've got a lot of things that we're hard at work at. Concept of ideas, and hope to hell that the sun doesn't shine on what actually happened. So yeah, I kind of think it's a little bit of both, where there were a lot of people that weren't expecting it, and that could be Trump's family, that could be Trump supporters, people that weren't in the inner circle where the shenanigans were going on.
I do wonder if that the trumpet is bringing in the new year, and then when 2025 rolls in, the headaches begin.
Yeah.
Where's Doris? Where's Ozzy's mom? I want that t-shirt. When 2025 rolls in, the headaches begin, because it could go either way. Oh, dear God. Let's see. Hide that one. This ought to be interesting. If the House can't elect a speaker by January 6th, do you think there will be a significant delay in certifying? This is kind of one of the things. Gary, by the way, 1334 is the number of people watching right now, which is ridiculous. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. My goodness.
Can you imagine a scenario where a bunch of Republicans, you remember when Trump was in court and a bunch of House members went stomping off to New York to support him, and they couldn't get legislation done, and Jasmine Crockett came out with their badly built, bleached blonde butch body line?
Yep.
If they pull shenanigans like this, the Democrats could call for a House, if they still have the one vote thing, they could call for a new speaker vote, and there's a bunch of Republicans not there to vote. Not that they would do that, but talk about forcing the Republicans to attend all congressional meetings, and then if one of them ends up in a Alzheimer's home, they might want to do something about it sooner rather than later, and keep things quiet on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that lady in Texas, she did not run in the 2024 election, and but she's in a heavy red district, so the Republicans won that district. I think it's the 12th district. They won it pretty easy.
Yeah, and as Libby was pointing out, they haven't been keeping up with the comments as I pontificate. But yeah, if you can, give a video a thumbs up. Just help feed the algorithm.
That's right. Yeah, if we feed enough, it goes out to the the MAGA trolls.
Right. Then that's subjected to something that's not Fox News.
I was sharing with David, we had this great comment from someone who claimed that we were very biased.
Oh, yeah.
And in this person's experience, people as biased as David and I are generally funded by dark money. And at first, I was like, I was getting ready to block the commenter, but I thought, you know what? No, it's more fun to have fun with the commenter. So it's basically, don't tell the dark money what we're doing, because if they ever saw the low production quality of our videos, they really want their money back. And Dave was like, no, let the dark fund, the dark money know what we're doing, because we want a pay raise.
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
We're getting dark money, man. We better get on. Let me improve the video quality of it. Let me move this pile of work over there behind me. There. We have now improved the quality, because now I don't have a bunch of papers over my shoulder.
So if you have dark money, please feel free.
Yeah, go and send it.
It's a super sticker.
Send us crypto. Send us the thing that fell off the back of the truck. A suitcase is full of unmarked bills. Send them on over. Dark money.
If there was a channel that didn't have dark money, this is the epitome of a non-dark money channel.
Well, these super stickers could be dark. January 6th, House. What's that looking like? You got the Ace of Wands, the World card. There's going to be a problem here.
I love your main clarifier.
This, I don't know when. No, look. Okay, Ace of Wands. Strong action being taken underneath the theft, the stealing, the sneaking off at the night, bringing a major cycle to a close, communicating it, next steps. Maybe right around the time Congress is being, remember, here's the steps. Congress meets, they get sworn in, they select their speaker, then the next day, or a couple days later, they are counting the votes, certifying the electors. Somewhere between that Congress getting sworn in and counting the votes, something big happens about theft of the election. If Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to be pulling off their plan, I don't know if they have to wait till the new Congress is in or not. But there's something that's going to, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen around then. Here's the other thing with Congress and the electors is insurrectionists need not apply to the President of the United States. Mm-hmm. Colorado court, the Supreme Court in Colorado, ruled that Trump was an insurrectionist, which is why they pulled him off the ballot in Colorado. The Supreme Court reinstated Trump on the ballot, saying you can't pull him off. It's up to Congress to, to debate whether or not he's an insurrectionist and whether or not they're going to seat him. So I think that could also be part of the mayhem that's going to be coming up here. Why don't you see if there's a delay on certifying, Garrett?
All right.
Something is up right around that time point, and it's just really timing. We're going to look like a bunch of dips if absolutely nothing happens. But
yeah, that Seven of Swords really caught my attention. So does that Seven of Swords mean that there is a delay in the inauguration because of either election fraud or Congress debating whether Trump's an insurrectionist? Okay, Foundation, Two of Pentacles. We're trying to balance things. Nine of Wands. We got one more big fight to go. We're tired. We got one more fight. Nine of Cups. A peace offering is out there. Eight of Swords. We're not seeing a great path forward. And underneath it, the Empress. which, in this case could be Russian interference in the election. Or
Libby had a comment about that. I'm trying to scan back to see what she said about the Empress.
Because it is really a lot of our readings. This has been, Russia interfering with the election results. This could also be, just the abundance of the United, democracy, if you will, Lady Liberty, if you will. Will there be a delay?
I'm saying a yes with your cards.
Yeah, it's there's something that they have to balance.
Yeah, they can't pick a leader.
Yeah.
When you only got like a 1 vote majority or a couple vote majority, it makes it really hard to pick a leader.
Yeah, it could very well be that there are Republicans that are just like, no, they don't want MAGA Mike. They don't want more of the same.
Well, yeah, exactly. And if they need to put Mike Johnson in there just so they can count the votes. If they can't agree to that, there's going to be some people that don't want to vote for Johnson. And one guy's already said it, that I'm not voting for him. And if that's the case,
that's enough.
Yeah.
It's
just, and then it's mayhem. And they have even less votes than they did with McCarthy. I think they can only lose like 5 or 6 votes with McCarthy. And there were like 8 holdouts on that.
Yeah, you only need a couple to switch sides, and it comes to an end.
Or just say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
What crazy times we're living in.
That's not it. It moved on me.
Thank you, Maddie B. Cheers.
Libby fat fingered the typing there. Is Hakeem going to be elected speaker when Congress returns? Or is it Harkeen? Is there any Republican out there we don't know about?
That's his cousin. That's a great question. That I find that actually fascinating, because given that the Speaker of the House is in that chain of who could become president.
He's second line after the next in line after the VP. It's an important position.
Yeah, it is. And boy, you have to have some big brass ones if you're a Republican congressman saying, yeah, you know what, I'm willing to have Hakeem Jeffries get into that line of succession as, third in line. If something happens to Trump advance at the same time, Hakeem Jeffries comes in.
Okay, I'm going to see. Will Hakeem be elected speaker when Congress returns?
I'm just going to follow yours. I'm not going to change.
Disappointments, new offerings. Underneath it, 5 of Swords. Okay, battling. Okay, disappointment. It's a non-unified house. It would be a novel concept to have him in there. If they do, yeah, having an advantage, things changing quickly, wanting the values, bringing folks in, temperance. I think there's going to be a lot of frustration with this.
I think that's, what I think that 5 of Cups is, Dave, is the frustration with like McCarthy, where you're going through round after round after round of
and that's kind of where I'm going with it. It's almost like I could picture a scenario. Now, this is going to blow people's minds away, but just follow me with this. That somebody's going to come up with the idea, hey, maybe we do make Hakeem Jeffries the Speaker of the House, just so that we can move on past the bickering and fighting, so we can count the electoral votes to get Trump into office. Just get the country, moving again. We'll bring him in there, and then, we'll remove him because we're in charge. I could see them doing it because the Republicans can't agree. They can't get Trump in, and somebody's going to strategize that, if we get Hakeem Jeffries in there, he's going to count the votes, and then Trump's going to get in there, and then once we get our stuff sorted out, then we can remove Jeffries. Alternatively, then the Republicans are in their greatest position ever, because then Hakeem Jeffries doesn't bring up all the stuff that Trump wants to do, protecting the Republican House members.
That's actually brilliant.
Preventing, so that they're not subjected to Trump's crazy stuff. And then they could blame the Democrats, even though they're the majority party.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries is a total political cover. Let's do a little four-carder on that. Will Hakeem Jeffries become Speaker of the House to provide political cover? Will the Republicans support Jeffries because he'll give them political cover?
This is just, where's Cash's his fingers like, man, don't even believe that is so crazy. Crazy.
Well, I don't think I need to throw any more cards. Yep. Yep, that's why we're doing it. Sort of truth, sort of justice. He'll bring balance back to the House. The House is very balanced. He can bring things of value back in. We could become a more contemplative body. We could be the happy family again, where we're getting stuff done for American families, and we don't have to worry about anyone saying that the election was stolen at this point going forward. Or it could just be, the Republicans are like taking MAGA's power away and running away from the MAGA camp. It's crazy, but they may do it. Okay, I'm on record as saying up until 1:05 p.m. on December 26th, I would have said there is no way they would give Hakeem Jeffries the opportunity to become Speaker of the House.
Eleanor Wittering, yes, Libby does have a channel. It is Meister Terra. That is her channel name. And she puts out probably 20 videos a week. Thereabouts.
They come out in they come out in waves. I hope your granny's doing really good. I hope your mom's doing good.
Hey Gary, will Jeffries actually count the votes and let Trump in? Give the audience a secret card.
Ooh, okay. Do you want me to answer the question, or just give him a secret card?
Give him a secret card. It's a one card answer.
Will Hakeem Jeffries
actually count the votes and let Trump in?
Okay, here we go.
My secret card.
Oh dear, that's not a great secret card.
He might be stuck if the electoral votes are such that Trump's got them. Then yeah, because that's his job is to call that in, and then the vice president has to just open the envelopes and count
election, right?
Now here's the question.
And there's no real path out of it unless you can prove that there was fraud, in which case that's not up to Jeffries, that's up to Biden.
Well, no, but there's the other thing to throw on that one is, will Trump be disqualified from receiving electoral votes because he's an insurrectionist?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the one thing that's like on the back burner that nobody talks about. They're talking, we've got all of this other stuff, but the Supreme Court basically kicked the ball into the House's thing, saying, it's up to the Electoral College and the House to debate whether or not he's an insurrectionist. Poor Carter. Is Trump going to be running into problems with electoral votes because he's an insurrectionist? Ace of Wands, it's going to be brought up. The strong passion, King of Wands, and the Strength card. Yeah, it's. I think they're going to bring it up. They're going to talk about what happened. They had the January 6th Commission look into this. It's one thing to be passionate about the election, but there was no proof of that. It's kind of, you have to vote your conscience on this one. This is, let me put out there, it's going to be a wild 2025. This is going to be a wild 2025. It's going to be brought up. There's going to be a lot of debate on the House if they bring this up. It's it's going to be wild. I don't want to say violent. It's going to be wild and passionate. Temper will be flaring. There will be screaming. There will be threats of fisticuffs. Real Armageddon shit. Cats, dogs lying together, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, they have the Goyonis to do it, though. Does Congress have the Goyonis? Well, they're going to charge in recklessly, fast moving. Oh, there's the smug merchant. Hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. Leaving people out in the cold. But this is what you did. And coming up with some sort of a new solution, a new way of looking at things. There are going to be those that either defend Trump or defend the Constitution with reckless abandon. The main clarifier is, I think their big challenge is they're concerned about their donors that support their that have supported their candidacy, if you will. They're afraid of either themselves being left out in the cold or leaving their constituents out in the cold. But the truth is there. They know what happened. They saw what happened. There's video of what happened. There's a whole January 6th committee testimony that went on that no one who watches Fox News actually watched. But underneath it all is a page of pentacles, looking at the value of our democracy and holding it on a pedestal and saying, our Constitution, our democracy demand that we take care of it. Do they have the Goyonis? If they are not, my challenge here is the Nine of Cups, that at the end of the day, money may talk. That's it's supposed to be a really good card, but man, that has been a really sucky card.
Yeah, it's funny when I took lessons from Lena and that card came up. She had just like, okay, I realize that in our political readings when this comes up, this is the smug merchant, the one that always comes up, but this is actually a really, really good card.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it in a positive standpoint. That whole it could be that Nine of Cups is they look at the Colorado challenge and the ruling by the Supreme Court in Colorado that he's an insurrectionist and he should have been removed. That gives them an out. That in Congress is like, hey, look, man, this is what he did. This is our opportunity to get away from this MAGA nonsense that we've been under, especially the last 2 to 4 years. Where we're not getting anything done, and we want to get something done. Because even if you've got J.D. Vance leading the charge, as it were, the folks in Congress and the Senate, they're not beholden to J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel. They're more beholden to Trump and MAGA. And if you get Trump and MAGA, if you get Trump out of the equation, then J.D. Vance doesn't hold the sway that Trump holds. And then they're free to start legislating. Feel free to disagree with me.
That's what I was talking about there. Ben from Midas touched did a video about the convicted felon insurrectionist issue. And the Supreme Court already eliminated that from happening, ruling that the Colorado judge court ruled incorrectly. But, and I haven't seen that video, all they ruled was that they couldn't take him off the ballot.
Yeah.
What I recall from that was they put him back on the ballot because Texas threatening did the same thing with Biden. But I also seem to recall that it was because, you just can't be taking him off the ballot. It's up to the electors in some ways, or it's up to Congress to discuss if he's an insurrectionist. Otherwise, what's the point of having certain amendments in the Constitution? Lastly, Gavin Newsom in California is like leading up the charge of the resistance. They're trying to put together legislation and such to throw sand into the gears, beyond sanctuary cities. And they're just making it difficult for Trump and company to en masse deport folks that they want to deport. I wouldn't even say illegal immigrants because first off, that's just a crappy term, but they don't even want to stop it with people who are working in this country without proper paperwork because they want to take birthright citizens out too. And just a little a forecast around the energy around California and other states that are going to put up the resistance. This is assuming, of course, that Trump is put into power. How will California and the resistance fare against the Trump administration? I do think it'll be rather well. Knight of Pentacles. Money talks. You got the Victory, King of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Seven of Coins. Yeah.
I'd say we're going to do okay.
Yeah, we're going to do all right. Part of it is the funniest thing is not only is California going to succeed with this, but it's going to bring people to California. California's going to win. They're on the right side of history with this, and the consequences are going to be amazing. Because think about it. If you've got people, let's say Texas and Florida and other states on the southern border, around the Gulf of Mexico and such, let's say they all are gung-ho about setting up internment camps, halfway houses. Apparently something I was reading that they're floating the idea for kids. It seems to me a halfway house is where you put people on parole that you're not ready to fully release them yet. And your crime is being born in the United States to parents who weren't. It's going to bring an influx of people to California because California is safe, which means that you've got a bunch of people coming in that are going to be looking for work. And it's people that aren't particular about how backbreaking or wretched the work is. And this actually ends up helping the California economy because you have a bunch of people who are willing to work. And they might like California so much that they don't leave. And these aren't people that are sucking out resources by being on welfare and things like that. No, they're actually out there working. California actually lands on their feet with this and does well with this. And it probably also launches Gavin Newsom's
presidential bid,
federal political career too.
Yeah, Newsom is definitely positioning himself for a 2028 run. There's absolutely no question about that. Unless, of course, Harris comes in, something happens and Kamala Harris gets inaugurated, in which case Gavin Newsom's going to have to put his political ambition on the back burner for another 4 to 8 years.
But wait, that is not what I want to say. Sorry, these comments keep jumping here. This is what I want to say. California is the place to be, but all the maggots need to get out and stay out. Not really. The only reason I wanted to do that was not to insult the MAGA folks. But when I bought my car recently,
yes,
I bought a lease return. I was driving it up from Los Angeles to the Bay Area, so that's a 7-hour drive or so, depending on how fast you're going. And if you've ever driven up Highway 5 or up Highway 99 in Central California, it is rural and it is conservative.
It is country, baby.
And most people don't understand the real California gold is water and water rights. Mm-hmm. But these folks are there. It's a lot of ag, and they're very, very MAGA.
Yep.
If you deport all and they are the ones that are hiring people to work their fields. And I assure you that they are not checking citizenship on that. All they care about is How can I get my crops picked as inexpensively as possible for the majority of them? Maybe not all of them. I will allow for exceptions, but for the majority of them. To get rid of their labor force would be cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Mm-hmm.
And, in some ways, Gavin Newsom is helping them so they can be out there all loud and proud, pumping their chests about what a patriot they are. But, when everybody's looking around, yeah, but I hope they don't get rid of my guys. It's kind of like I want all the other people punished, but not my circle.
Yeah.
Because then I'm suffering. And now you're going to bring in more people into California that are willing to do the work. So
it just kills me because, as you alluded to earlier, the folks that, and they want to get rid of some of the birthright citizenship too, which is even crazier. But good luck. You got to actually amend the Constitution to get that to pass. But these are the folks that are out there doing the really nasty jobs, the real backbreaking jobs. They're out there digging ditches, landscaping, construction, hospitality. These people are out there busting their butts. They're giving their physical health up to, bring in some money to support their families. And it just kills me that we don't have a better process to give these people that may have either overstayed their visas, came in illegally, whatever, a path forward to citizenship. And if you kick all these people out, there's going to be a lot of jobs out there that are either not going to get done because they're nasty, like working in a slaughterhouse, or you're going to have to pay 2 or 3 times the salary to get people to get out there and do the job. And so what MAGA doesn't understand is if they didn't like the inflation under Biden,
exactly,
hated it under Trump.
Everything's going to be more expensive. It just will, because Florida found out. Florida was the microcosm of this. And let's not forget what happened when Florida put in a tough immigration law on their books, and undocumented workers left Florida because they didn't want to be deported. And then immigrants, even though if they were documented or not, refused to truck stuff into Florida. And Florida didn't find a big workforce to, clean the hotel rooms or pick the watermelons in the fields or do all the roofing work on the new construction that was happening over the summer. And they were begging for work to come in, to the point where they say, well, we won't enforce the law. But by then it was too late. The damage was done. And watching them backtrack after, again, pumping your chest, I'm a real patriot, watch me cut my nose off to spite my face, and then, getting on their hands and knees and begging for that workforce to come back. We didn't really mean it. Well, live with the consequences of your actions, because you don't learn otherwise.
Well, it's like you said earlier, what Shelley tells you all the time is they don't play the tape all the way through.
No.
Follow it all the way to the end, not just to the point that everyone's cheering and yelling, but get all the way to the end of the tape and you realize, what did I just sign up for? The GOP's been great about getting people to vote against their own interests.
Yeah. And the analogy I've used on that one, and I've done it, I haven't really been hammering the drum on this one recently, but when I first started the channel, I had it's not a left versus right issue, it's a top versus bottom issue. And it always has been. The analogy is the kids going out and getting their trick-or-treat candy and the parents eating their candy. And when the kids discover the candy is being eaten, the parents are saying the sibling ate it. And while the two kids are fighting with each other about eating their favorite candies, the parents are still there just gorging themselves, laughing as these kids are squabbling. And by the time the kids figure out that neither one of them was actually doing it, there's no candy left.
Yep.
And they're going to be wondering what happened to their candy.
And they'll be a lot wiser next Halloween.
Yeah. Or not.
Depends how good the memory is, right?
Yeah. And in case you're wondering why I use that analogy.
No, it never happened to us.
Not at all. Never had our parents eat our candy and then say that What are you talking about? Your candy, you ran out of candy a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember. You know, it's funny. I do remember that. It's just like,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
Because Gary and I were similar. You know, most kids, or some kids anyways, you know, they stuffed their pockets and ate all their chocolate that night. Gary and I saved it.
Smart kids, turns out.
Or wiser. You know, we didn't eat all the chocolate first. We sometimes we eat the really crappy sugar candy first, you know, because like it's better than no candy, which was the normal state. And then once you're done with the crappy one, you still have the good stuff left.
Yeah, save the best for last.
And then exactly. And then, you know, then we find out, well, you're it's like, where's our Halloween? How come we didn't get any Halloween candy in our lunch this week? Oh, it's all gone. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's like, well, wait a minute. We didn't have our chocolate bars that were in there. Oh, you've eaten it all.
Yeah, we didn't. We were smart enough to look at the garbage can to see the wrapper.
Not that we're traumatized.
No.
But it's and the point being is that that little white line gas. My mother, I'm sure, was the one who was eating it because she's the one who lacks the control. It was gaslighting. Introduction to gaslighting. Nobody likes to be gaslit, and it's by somebody you're supposed to trust. Now, in the grand scheme of things, is your mom eating your chocolate bars or anything? Is that a big thing? No, it really isn't. But when you're a little kid, you have no resources, and there's no like sweets in the house, and that's your source.
Yep.
You know, that's a lesson to learn. And worse, you didn't figure it out for years. It was only as an adult that you start figuring it out. Guess who didn't eat his kids' candy if he could avoid it? It's like my wife would be stinking. Like my first wife would be stinking. It's like, dude, if you want chocolate, I'll go buy you a bag. Yeah. Stop stealing the kids' stuff. That ain't right.
Yeah, the only ones I would eat are the ones that had peanuts or peanut butter in it because my son's allergic.
Well, your son's allergic.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so we're at almost an hour and a half in. Should we do a little Twin Tarot time, or do you want to keep doing readings? Just Gary and David time. We had our Christmas video out that we just had. It was more of a chit chat video than anything else. We didn't throw any cards on it. There was one thing we didn't talk about, so there was a question I wanted to ask you. So growing up as a kid, was there a, you know how you get the mom and dad would throw the catalogs at us and circle whatever you want? Do you have a memory of a gift that you circled that you never got that you really lament not getting?
Well, you and I both have the same answer to that one. It's the red car with the doors that open. Duh.
But I would give to get a 1970 or 71, 72
probably Sears catalog.
I
want to see what that car looks like. I agree.
There was this red car. It was like it was kind of like I'm not going to say it was a pedal car because I don't know if it actually had pedals in it.
Right.
But it would fit to, if you had a set of twins that were about 5 or 6 years old, they could both sit in this car together. It had a steering wheel, and it had a hood that opened up that had an engine, and it had a trunk, and it had doors that opened up. And Dave and I were just like absolutely obsessed with this car.
I can only imagine how much that damn thing cost too.
Oh, I think it was probably like $50, $60, which back in 1970 was a crap ton of money, right?
Yeah.
That was probably half the Christmas budget. But Dave and I were just absolutely obsessed with this thing, and we asked for it at least 2 or 3 years in a row, and it never showed up. And I would love to see what that thing actually looks like as an adult.
What a pile of junk that thing is.
So it was kind of the toy that got away, you know. So I'm just curious if anyone out there had a toy that got away on the Christmas season. I would love to see what you guys had out there.
The only other one that would be of disappointment was, and it turned out to be a collector's item, was there was a Star Trek.
Yes.
I know exactly. A little 8-inch TV set type thing with a little Star Trek thing, like a Romulan warship going across. And My father did pick one up for us, but it was one of those things that they rushed it to for the holiday shopping, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Most of them didn't work, so it ended up getting returned. But those things, Gary used to go to Star Trek conventions, and those things sold for bank.
Oh yeah,
if it worked,
money. Oh yeah, I totally remember. It was like it was kind of like a video game.
Yeah.
But it was like a little console, maybe 12 by 12 inch console. And like Dave said, they rushed into production, huge amounts of defects. And the ones we had, the one we got was defective, and my dad had to return it, but they never actually reproduced it, which was heartbreaking. I think I have another donation in there. Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. We're all immigrants if we go back far enough. True to that.
Yeah, amen.
I mean, that's really kind of that whole birthright citizenship, where I think Trump's vision is that if the parents came in illegally and they had a kid, then ship them all out. But, what if the wife was a citizen? What if, the kids have grown to be adults and they've had kids? You're really on a slippery slope. And then how far back do you go? Our brother-in-law was sharing a story about his family, about how they lived near the Mexico-Texas border. And I guess the area that they lived in got sort of annexed and became part of Texas. And, what do you consider their citizenship to be? I'm not advocating that people should come in illegally and automatically get citizenship. But what I am advocating is that if folks have come in illegally, they have proven that they've been a productive member of society, there should be some sort of path forward for them towards citizenship. We've got to protect our borders and enforce the laws. But for those, where we're being sloppy or lazy about it, and folks have established themselves and had kids who were born here, we have to give them a path forward. You can't just blindly just take them all, round them all up and kick them out. That's just not how it should work.
It's rather heartless and doesn't really follow the whole Christian thing, right?
Yeah. Amen.
Now, for talks, I don't know how I'm going to cope with this new Trump regime. Part of it is sarcasm and humor. It's like, well, what do you mean? They're going to be hurting people and stuff like that. Yeah, they're going to try. He doesn't have a mandate. He barely has a House. He has a more prominent Senate, but the House is already pushing back on him. He's nominating the most god-awful people to cabinet positions, and nobody who's actually has the ability to do the job. They're going to be inept, and most likely they're going to be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And don't underestimate the power of the deep state, of the everyday workers that go in and do that work. Oh, now that's I'm gonna have to look this one up. I'll do it in a second. There's a woman named Sheila, and I forget exactly her. I have to look up her channel's name. Sheila had me on a live year and a half ago or so on her channel. Her channel is currently down. She's starting a new one. I said I was going to plug it. She works for the federal government, and just a couple of years from retirement. And I had reached out to her when the whole budget thing was going on, because talking about not shutting down the government, and I wanted to see if she was going to be okay and is there anything you do to help, and that things got passed through there. But she was telling me, it's like, there's a lot of people worried for their jobs, and she took down her channel and she's not doing anything political right now because she doesn't want to be singled out for doing stuff like that and giving them a reason to remove her. She says, I won't be removed. I'm been around too long and my job's too well protected. But long and short of it also is those folks can grind things down to ace.
Oh yeah.
And still.
They know all the loopholes. They know all the ways to slow stuff down.
Exactly. And Maureen is asking if it's Celtic Sheila Tarot. No, it's not. Let me see. I don't know if I remember her old channel. Hang on for a second. I'm just checking my email. Gary, cover for me as I.
Yes, I'm going through the comments because I did ask if people had toys that they didn't get that they lament, the stuff that got away. So let's see. Rule 17, train and slot car racing sets. I still want them. I totally get it. Those were so cool. I saw a Cher doll. Easy bake oven. Yes, because there's nothing like baking with a light bulb, baby. Thank you, Mary. Yana said, oh, and I recognize you as well. Thank you so much. My brother brought me a cheap Barbie kitchen, my first non-doll toy. My brother could do no wrong in my eyes. That was so thoughtful. My son had done that for my daughter. He earned money walking the neighbor's dog, and he bought her a Doc McStuffins mobile veterinary center that my daughter absolutely loved. His sister is a year younger than he is. So here's this, this 8-year-old kid that saved up like $50-$60 so he could buy his sister a Christmas gift with his dog walking money. I mean, it's just, that's the kind of kid he is. And she loved that. Cher doll in her wardrobe closet. Oh, yeah. Wasn't that Cher, the doll with the long hair? Wasn't that the slogan?
So, yeah, it's a Sheila Spirit Voices Sheila.
Okay.
And I've thrown a couple of links in the comment section.
Fantastic. Okay.
So feel free to go check her out. Give her a sub. You will not be hearing political stuff for a while until she might go back and visit political stuff later. But right now, for job reasons and vilification and such like that, she's just keeping things on the down low. She may never go back to political stuff.
Yeah. Miss Aqua 55, the toy that got away was a chemistry set. Can't imagine why. Oh no. Andrew Tyson. Hot Wheels. Yes, Dave and I were big into Hot Wheels. We loved Hot Wheels. Cindy Grogan had built a model of the Enterprise badly. Wonder where. It's probably the Klingons got it. Let's see. More out there. I had a swimmer mermaid for Christmas, and I lost it in the ocean. Oh, no.
You played with it like you were supposed to. I hear you on that.
Well, hopefully she found her people out in the ocean there. My daughter loves mermaids when she was a little girl, and that is my Christmas tradition with her is I do a cartoon strip with mermaids every year for her. And Blind Squirrel was asking me to show my artwork off from the mermaid cartoons. Let's see. Barbie
Take a picture and post up a frame or two from the cartoon.
The Barbie Dreamhouse. Oh, yeah, baby. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Woo! Take this, David. Dave, were you the red? No, you were the blue bomber. I was the red rocker.
I don't remember.
I do remember. A horse? Oh, man. Yeah. I can understand why your mom and dad might not want to get you a horse, but yes, that must have been terrible. Oh, what's this?
Probably a response to somebody else.
Hey, Jay, is it Sack Anime? Oh,
sorry.
Thank you, Nicholas. Cheers.
Make sure that Jamie saw the response.
I am not drinking another one of these things. 8% alcohol by volume. This thing is going to go off the rails.
You should be feeling it right about now too, I would think.
Oh God, one more of these and I'm going to look like Rudy Giuliani.
You're dripping sweat from the dye in your hair. Yes, Gary and I both dye our hair this white color so that we look more mature and intellectual.
I think that's it.
Yeah, but we should probably wrap it up here. We've been going for well over an hour and a half.
These people they got Christmas day after Christmas shopping, Boxing Day to do here.
Yeah.
At the bottom, there was. See if I missed anything else. Yeah, we got Nicholas. Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate it. Yeah, no. Someone else said my bro had Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It was always after me to play with him. Being a girly girl, I hated him.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I used to chase my son around the house doing that. Yeah, I'd be walking. I would never go faster than a walk pace, and he could go as fast as he wanted. And he'd close the bedroom door, and I would just sit in front of the door doing that until he opened it again.
Well, it's just also funny that it's actually more terrifying if you're walking than running.
Oh yeah,
because he'll get some distance, and then you kind of you corner yourself, and then the enemy is slowly coming towards you. It's funny watching the cats. Elle will stalk Nico. He'll run down the hall, and then she just walks down the hall after. Yeah.
It's just like the mummy. You can run
exactly
as you want, but the mummy always catches you in the end.
Oh God! Thank you everyone for joining us. Really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Taking some time on your post Christmas holidays to hang out and be irreverent with us.
Exactly. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this channel. I tend to maintain the comments section, and so I really enjoy the comments. There's so many people out there that I recognize that are scrolling up the comments here. Acadian Proud and a bunch of other people whose names in emoticons I recognize. I really appreciate your kind comments. It really it's validating in a lot of ways. That Dave and I, we put these things out. We have no idea how they're really going to go until we have a general idea, but we never really know when we're going to hit. Kind of sort of tap into something here, and you folks have been absolutely great in supporting us and keeping us going on this channel. It's a lot of work, but it doesn't feel like work at all. A 1969 two-door Coronet 440. Oh wow!
Now, police used to own that one, huh?
Well, was the Coronet, was the 440 a trim line, or was that the actual engine that was under the hood? Because a big block 440 Coronet would be a very tough beast out on the street.
I'm assuming it was the 440.
I suspect it was probably a 440 cubic inch.
I want to share this. Do want to share this story. So Gary had shared one of the things that our brother-in-law shared with us. He shared another story with us too. My sister, my brother-in-law was married to, the one who was sharing the story about his father, talking to folks. A work party, they had tarot card readers there, and our brother-in-law like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get my cards ready. He's open-minded. He wasn't gonna prejudge this thing and say no, it didn't happen. And so the woman throws the card down, and the first card that came out was the death card.
Oh,
and then she threw a couple more cards, and she's like, I don't think we need to really talk about this anymore. It's like, oh God. So I was asking, well, did you get this? Did you get the 10 of swords? Did you get the 3 of swords? 4 swords? What'd you get? I don't remember. Okay. I said, basically, she saw things that said you probably didn't have a long lifetime left, and she just didn't want to ruin your Christmas. And then I was like mildly offended, like, hey, I'll read cards for you. Good Lord, come on. Throw that one out there. And when Sis went to get her cards done, she pointed one and it was Oracle cards. So it's like, Oracle cards. I have a deck or two of Oracle cards, just not into it. I like the tarot ones a lot better. Oh, Libby's gonna have to start wearing like the red outfit with the shoulder pads and the Dr. Seuss hairstyles to fit into the new Jaguar advertising campaign.
Oh, and Libby's got my dream car is an E-Type or Jeep Wrangler 2-door soft top. Okay, so I'll tell you, Libby, I drove a Jeep Wrangler in Hawaii. I got to Hawaii and I thought, okay, I'm going to rent a Jeep Wrangler because everyone seems to rent those. I drove it from Lihui Airport to the hotel, and I immediately traded it in for a Mustang convertible. It's a very rugged rig, but oh my God, primitive as all get out. I'd say the Jaguar E-Type is an absolutely gorgeous car, a timeless beauty, and I hope you get one of these days. I mean, even if you never drive it, just looking at it, it is an absolute work of art. Okay, what do you got here? 1968 Nova, a V8. Yeah.
My roommate in college had a 74 Nova with a 3 on the tree with the 6-cylinder.
Now, V8 Nova, yeah, you could do a lot worse than that.
Yeah,
I put in the chat, we had a 68 Olds Cutlass Supreme with a 4-barrel. It was where my dad worked. Several people got company cars, and it was the boss's son's car. And so when we were in high school, 15 years after the car was made, we got it as a car for my brother and I to drive it. We absolutely loved that car.
Yeah, it's a great car.
A bikey chick. Oh, hey, Libby, you were just living life on the edge, weren't you?
Well, Libby has shared stories that she was the rebellious daughter. And,
oh my God.
With her mom, so they're doing a lot of catching up here.
1985 Chevy Chevette. Woo! 0 to 60 in 8 tries. Those were
watching the old Motor Weeks. The Pontiac T1000.
Yes.
There's got to be something wrong with that car. It was 0 to 60 was like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah. It was like
ridiculous.
0 to 60 in 8 tries, right? Yeah. I watched those. Motor Week has they put their I think it's called Motor Week Retro.
Yeah,
where they do it was on the public broadcasting out of Maryland, Owens Mills, Maryland, and on YouTube you can find their old auto tests. And Dave's right, like the Chevette, it was like 0 to 60 was like they had to use a clock instead of a stopwatch. It was taking so long.
Well, it just annoys me when people say, "Oh, your car's slow." It's like, dude, it does 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. That is not slow for most of our life growing up. Muscle cars had a hard time busting 7 seconds. Or, if you could do a quarter mile in 15 seconds plus, your car was flying.
Yeah, if you could go, if you were 14 or under, that was a super fast car. If you were in the 15s, that was fast.
Yeah, your mom's minivans today will blow the doors on a lot of muscle cars.
Oh yeah, amen to that, man. Or a Camry with a V6, a Sunbeam Tiger. Ooh yeah, get smart. 65 Goat. My father-in-law had a 64. He had a 64 GTO and a 64 Le Mans. Pantera. Our friend Mike had a Pantera.
Yep. Does he still have one, or is that gone?
He sold it. He sold it on eBay. Went to Japan.
Okay.
It's probably worth triple what he sold it for. It was beautiful. It was a show car. It was really, really nice. A CHR in feverish red. I've got a Civic. I mean, and a Miata. So there you go.
Do you think the CHR is the RAV4 over here?
No, I think it's like I want to say it's like a SUV. I think my neighbor has one. They may or may not make it in the United States, but I know which one
they don't.
About.
Or it's badged as something else too.
Oh, hey, now you're playing Dave's music, Dave's songs now.
I bought my daughter a 2013, I believe, Prius V. Great car. Absolutely a great car. I drove Priuses from 2010 through. I had a 2010 Prius, which I gave to my daughter with Actually, okay. Let me say no RAV4 is completely different because I was thinking like CRV when you had on that one. But I lost that here. My daughter inherited my car that had 224,000 miles on it. Then she put 50 on it herself, and then just we gave that car to a friend who wrecked his motorcycle, so he had a daily driver. And you back okay?
Oh no, it was my leg. I just got a cramp.
Okay. And I bought my daughter a Prius V. So happy cars.
Yeah, the CHR, it's kind of it's SUV, but the RAV4 would be more of your traditional SUV. The CHR,
yeah, I'm assuming it's a smaller one, like the See, I think of like the Honda CRV. I'm assuming it's the Toyota version of the Honda CRV, but I don't know if Toyota has that version over in the US.
Yeah, no, it's funkier. It's very unique. I saw someone had a 76 Olds Cutlass Supreme. Yeah, baby, go Olds. We had my dad had a 74 and a 78. I saw someone there was an XKE Jag lover in there. CHR is a stooped due to the new Corolla crossover. 64 Impala. Someone had a 68 Chevy in there as well. Oh, Sunbeam Tiger and British Racing Green. Yeah, those things were. It was kind of like the if you pardon the expression, a poor man's AC Cobra. It was basically the AC Cobra. It was just you had a 289 or a 260 stuffed into a little AC or Sunbeam Alpine. Those were good cars. 72 Pinto, yeah. Hey, I've got a soft spot for the Pintos. I like those. A pea green Dodge Duster. Hey, man, those Dusters, if you had a 340 in that thing, that was a real sleeper.
That was a big block killer. Those watching Cars and Zebras is a very funny drag racing channel.
Yep.
Funny with 11-year-old fart humor stuff. So if you can't take fart jokes, that's fine. Maybe not a channel for you, but dude's hilarious. And I have an all-new respect for the Dodge 340. That thing, when dialed in, is an absolute beast.
Yes.
Then we got the 442 Cutlass.
Yes.
The dream car.
Renee,
and Gary owned one.
Actually, Renee, so we had that 68 Cutlass Supreme. When I finally got a little bit of money as an adult, I bought a 68 442, and they had replaced the 400 cubic inch with a 455. And, it was a great car. It got 7 miles to the gallon, no matter how I drove it. But boy, oh boy, when you have the Cutlass, you want the 442, right? So it's like if you have a Camaro, you want the SS. It was a lot of fun. But since I don't wrench on cars, it wasn't a good car for me to keep. And my son loved it. He was 2 at the time, and it was the only car. It's like, okay, we're going to go drive Daddy's race car. And he would let himself into the car, put himself into the car seat, and strap himself in. And it's just like, ooh, he likes this one a little too much. I do not want him learning to drive on this car.
It's one of the reasons why I don't buy old cars. There are a lot of old cars that I really like, and it runs the gamut. Gary and I both have a love for small, nimble roadsters.
Yep.
By driving, we're talking about our 68 Olds the whole time, not a small, nimble roadster, but
no.
I've had a 2017 Fiat 124 Spider, which was a co-design with the Miata, and I also had a 2007 Miata, and I had a Honda CRX. Now it was the gas mileage version, but Gary had the SI, which is the sporty version, and that car was a toot, an absolute drive.
That is the only car I've ever sold that I wish I had back. It was my CRX.
But the Austin Healey Mark IIIs would be an absolutely fun car. What a great looking car those are. My wife, her dad loved Fiats and loved Italian cars. So, an older, like a Fiat X19 or a Fiat 124 Spider, or I know Gary had a 240Z at one point.
I did.
And
great car.
Or even a an RX-7, either the original Wedge or one of the later ones. But I don't work on cars, and I don't know where I'm going to find necessarily a good place to take the car and get the stuff done. It's just easier to have a love affair with those, and I'm don't own one.
Yeah, admire them. I mean, I don't necessarily want to own them. I love the Bug Eye Sprite.
Yeah, Skip, but up the street has one. I've seen.
But for me, I don't want to own it. I would just love to have the experience driving it. I own it for a weekend. A C3 Corvette, that 68 to 1982 Corvettes. I would love to own one for a weekend. I don't need to own it for a lifetime. Just to experience it, I think it would be great. It's just so many of the old beasts. Like when I go to Hot August Nights, it's a big car show up in Reno. There are so many Camaros and Corvettes and Mustangs. It's like yawn, yawn, yawn. I want to see the stuff that we saw looking out the rear window of the station wagon or our mom's Volkswagen. I want to see like a 67 Dodge Newport. I want to see a Ford Fairlane 500, 1965 Ford Fairlane 500. These cars that were just real pedestrian, that everyone was driving, that no one preserved. When you see those at Hot August Nights, those are the ones that really capture my attention, because I'm absolutely fascinated with those, that someone preserved this thing, this grocery getter, as it were.
A late friend of ours had a Nash Rambler.
Yeah,
and, you get tired. Honestly, you get tired of seeing the '57 Corvettes and the 57 Chevys and all the fix-up Corvettes. It's like, because it's all the same after a while. It's like, whoa, Nash Metropolitan. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, if you're talking about Greg, he had a Nash Metropolitan.
Right.
He had a great sense of style and a great sense of humor. And he was telling me how you could get a aftermarket. It was those giant keys it was motorized.
Oh yeah. The church key to wind it up.
you can mount it on the trunk of the Nash Metropolitan. It looked like a wind-up car.
All right, I really am ending it now. We're now at 2 hours. Thank you everyone for watching and hanging out with us on the day after Christmas. We really do appreciate it.
To all of you, and a happy New Year. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Dave and I've got new readings coming out Friday and Saturday. We'll have to start recording for next week. Elon Musk will definitely be on that list. I've got all my notes here. On good old President Musk. But for right now, let's just enjoy the holidays. Let's not let what's happening in the political environment take our power and our light away from us. We're here for each other. I'm so happy when I see you guys in the comments. And I just really appreciate everything you've done for us.
Yeah. And, it's stressful with the news. It just is, as angry as I do get with it. I think I've got this feeling it's going to work one way or another. It's going to work out. Mm-hmm. Mostly, if no other reason, because it doesn't look like Congress is rolling over for him, which means that he's gonna bluster about all the stuff he wants to get done, but he doesn't have a mandate, and it's not going to happen. That doesn't mean that there won't be cruelty out there. It's just that he doesn't have a mandate, and it could be minimized. Yeah. So, best of luck to you all. Wish you happy holidays. 2025 is going to be an e-ticket ride, so strap in. And, don't feel too bad about celebrating the failures of the other side, because they are going to fail in spectacular fashion. Mm-hmm. And you should be there to enjoy it.
Yeah. It's one of those FAFO, F around and find out. You're going to see a lot of readings on F around and find out as MAGA starts to realize what the hell they signed up for.
Yeah, and just like there was a story recently about a firefighters union that supported Trump, and now he is doing legislation that's going to defund like their pensions or something like that. And all of a sudden, they're not so excited about him anymore. You know,
It's
groups of people at a time.
We don't have to be mean-spirited about it, but we also can feel free to point it out. It's like, well, this is what you wanted.
Yep.
Maybe in
lips, baby.
2026 you'll reconsider what's valuable and important to you.
Yeah.
But until then, we will attack this with as much snark and humor and sarcasm as we can, and just try and take the temperature down and have a little bit of fun at Trump and MAGA's expense.
Yep. Okay, everyone. You have a great night, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Mwah. Love you all. Take care.